सो हाय गाइस, माय नेम इज़ अनंत एंड गाइस आज हम लोग जो है एक क्या कहते हैं पॉपुलर टाइम चैप्टर 4 के ट्रेलर्स के ऊपर रिएक्ट करने वाले हैं यूट्यूब पर। तो हम जल्दी से जाते हैं पॉपी प्ले इस पर एंड देन हम लोग सर्च करते हैं प्ले टाइम चैप्टर 4 ट्रेलर एंड गाइस मज़ा आएगा इसको, क्योंकि मैं पहली बहुत ट्रेलर देख रहा हूँ। ये रहा। और एक सेकंड, वॉइस थोड़ी सी कम, एक काम अगर तो हेडफोन लगा लेता हूँ ना, हेडफोन्स यूज कर लेते हैं हम लोग जल्दी से। ब्लूटूथ ऑन कर लेते हैं। एक सेकंड, हो क्यों नहीं रहा कनेक्ट? अच्छा मैंने, हाँ अब हो जाएगा। यस।
Down here, it's not like anything you've seen above. It's hell. And Playtime wanted it to be.
Now what's this? They call him the Doctor. He works with the prototype, commands everything down here. Hunting us, starving us. There are no places you can hide. Not from me. I've got something special and more.
I need to make this right.
Let's make a game of you.
Hurry! Let us in! It's outside!
I failed you.
You lied to me!
Hiya there, pal. Follow me.
ओ भाई, क्या आज का डेट है? ओ भाई, 2 दिन बाद परसों आ रहा है क्या? यो 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 यो, यो परसों आ रहा है। वापस वापस मजा आएगा, वापस वापस देखते हैं।
Down here, it's not like anything you've seen above. It's hell. And Playtime wanted it to be.
Now what's this? They call him the Doctor. He works with the
चलो एक काम करते हैं, ये तो हो गया हमारा रियल वाला, पर जो है का कुछ पुराना वाला देखे। ये क्या है? पॉपुलर चैप्टर 4। गेम में कभी भी हमारे कैरेक्टर को फेस नहीं दिखाते गाइस। शिट ठीक है। Oh shit. 4 जनवरी। चलो भाई, हेडफोन की जो है गई, देखते हैं आगे
Good, you're here. And you've done it again. The impossible. Just like I knew you would. The hour of joy.
और हम थोड़े सीक्रेट्स भी देख लेंगे ना, और भी चैप्टर्स के पता है।
Soon as we reach the bottom, we'll send the lift back up. Just hold tight, okay? After you.
कुछ भी नहीं होता है, शायद से मैंने वीडियो देख रखी है।
All right. Once we hit the ground, we need to be cautious. There's something. What's she doing? No! No! We're coming! Just hold on! Come on, go faster! Easy! ये क्या हुआ भाई? द गेम जस्ट क्रैश्ड। अब हाँ, सही में तो गेम ही क्रैश हो गया। दफन भी हिलेगा।
पता है यार, ने फोटो देखी होती है बचपन की। पता है मुझे ये उसकी बचपन की फोटो। हाँ भाई पता है। एक्चुअली प्ले टाइम में करते क्या थे, बच्चों को बुलाते थे, उनको सुलाते थे, और जो डीप स्लीप में ना रेड गैस वो उन पे छिड़क देते थे और वो टॉयज में बदल जाते थे। जैसे ये बदल गई तो इतनी पुरानी फोटो देख रही है। बस भाई देख लिया क्या? नॉर्मली देर इज नो
Did you find
There
it?
is a cute
The
prince.
plug is near Home Sweet Home.
पूरी बिल्डिंग बन रखी है इस पर। जैसे जो कुछ भी ये क्या है भाई? मर कैसे गया बंदा? You're wasting time, get up. Can you send me his blood from being crushed? Let's see. Let's see okay. You can treat that. This does not work. Let's try different way. Oh, वो तो भाई तो बहुत ही ज़्यादा जो है फन लग रहा है कि she does not react anymore. Okay, ये भी जाए। ओ ये क्या हुआ है? तो इनविजिबल हो गया, पूरा का पूरा इनविजिबल। पार्कोर करना लगता है बंदा। देखते हैं क्या होता है। 10 मिनट की है। Let's see, जब ये नीचे जाएगा तो क्या होगा? तो क्या होता है जब मैं नीचे है? मिस्टर अभी भी ऊपर से देख रही है क्या? कोई लैग? चलिए she is coming. D. मतलब कुछ भी ओके नेक्स्ट सक्सेस यस सर ही इज जस्ट गॉन और अच्छे दिखते हैं चैप्टर 4 द डॉक्टर और थोड़े सीक्रेट्स देखते हैं चलो नहीं पॉपी प्ले टाइम चैप्टर 4 सीक्रेट्स एक सेकेंड इससे पहले हाँ पॉपी प्ले टाइम चैप्टर 4
ऑलराइट लेडीज एंड जेंटलमैन आखिरकार चैप्टर 4 का गेम प्ले ट्रेलर निकल के आ चुका है जहां पर हमें फाइनली देखने को ऑलराइट लेडीज एंड जेंटलमैन आखिरकार चैप्टर 4 का गेम प्ले ट्रेलर निकल के आ चुका है जहां पर हमें फाइनली देखने को मिल चुका है वो मिस्टीरियस कैरेक्टर और भी ढेर सारे नए लोकेशंस और ढेर सारे एनिमीज। तो फिर आइए बात करते हैं इस पूरे वीडियो में अबाउट चैप्टर 4 गेम प्ले ट्रेलर ब्रेकडाउन के बारे में। सो नाउ सिट बैक, रिलैक्स एंड जस्ट हैव अ लुक। ट्रेलर के बारे में बात करने से पहले मैं आपको ये बताना चाहूंगा कि मैंने रात में ही जब ये ट्रेलर रिलीज हुआ था तभी मैंने अपने रिएक्शन वीडियो डाला था। आई होप सो कि आपने वो देख लिया हो उसी टाइम। नाउ इट्स टाइम टू ब्रेक डाउन द एंटायर गेम प्ले ट्रेलर। सबसे पहले हम देख पाते हैं फर्स्ट शॉट जहां पर देखने को मिलता है कुछ स्लाइम काइंड ऑफ सब्सटेंस। ऑलराइट लेडीज एंड जेंटलमैन आखिरकार चैप्टर 4
चैप्टर 4 ट्रेलर नहीं सीक्रेट्स secrets. Every secret.
Chapter 4's gameplay trailer is finally out, revealing a brand new character. And today, we're gonna go over every single secret inside of it, where we are left with literally dozens of questions and answers going into the chapter finally, all of which we are breaking down today. So firstly, the trailer starts with a little commercial playing faintly in the background, advertising some kind of new toy. Wow, some colorful material drops down on the floor and an alarm blasts throughout the area. Then we are brought through the main chapter 4 location, the prison, showing a bunch of new shots while our good old friend Poppy returns and exclaims to us,
Down here, it's not like anything you've seen above. It's hell.
referencing how deep we've traveled in the factory as Poppy continues,
And Playtime wanted it to be.
obviously suggesting all of the suffering the toys are experiencing down here was intentional the whole time. I mean, it is a prison after all. But next, we cut to a shot of the Harley Sawyer eye, something teased in tons of different teasers, as Harley himself speaks to us saying,
Now watch this.
before we fall into some kind of hole underneath us. Next, we see ourselves walk through the prison, catch a peek at this mysterious room with a bunch of TVs in this shot, and then we walk through an employee cafeteria where we spot ourselves a perished employee with a spare red grab pack hand flashing around that we then take for ourselves. All while a new, unheard, mysterious voice tells us,
They call him the Doctor. He works with the prototype, commands everything down here, hunting us, starving us.
confirming the prototype was actually working with Harley,
यार ऐड
which is extremely interesting. The prototype was actually working with Harley Sawyer, which is extremely interesting. As they are speaking, we are met with this shot showing the prison with the red gas shooting all throughout the place, followed by this shot showing our good old friend Yarnaby roaming around as we are seemingly stuck inside of this fenced area, maybe for the better, before flashing to this interesting mural showing what is called the Safe Haven, displaying a bunch of traumatized experiments / children in the middle being held with love by the arms of an orange and yellow creature. While we also see they actually have an interesting disliking for Poppy here, crossing her art out completely. After another gameplay shot of us grappling around, we see this shot of us in the computer room where we saw in the Doctor trailer Harley Sawyer powering up, while also a massive Yarnaby who's like way larger than us roams the area in search of us, which is extremely weird. I don't know why in some areas he is small and others he is huge. huge. It's very confusing, but then afterwards, it pans to a small sewer area from a previous Chapter 4 screenshot where the remnants of the drippy colors from before can be seen here. But in the next shot, we finally get to see Harley Sawyer powering on, while among him are a bunch of extra bodies to be used as minions. Where as this is being revealed, he says,
"There are no places you can hide, not from me."
The trailer then fades to showing us back with Poppy and even an alive but seemingly injured Kissy Missy, while another voice speaks to us.
I've got something special and more.
Followed by some more gameplay shots and even a look at one of the Harley Sawyer minions taunting us before shooting us down another trapdoor, while Poppy
भाई एक सेकंड यार ये ना ऊपर अच्छा
says,
I need to make this right.
and after
रुक जाओ भाई पर एक तो काम चल रहा है ना तेज आवाज आ रही सुना ही नहीं दे रहा और मेरे हेडफोन्स को भी अभी स्विच ऑफ होना है
some more shots of Sawyer's minions and our first look at the nightmare critters, who will in fact be appearing as the small plushies similar to the smiling critters, also being met with some weird spider huggies, which
अबे यार ऊपर काम क्यों चल रहा है यार तो परेशानी हो रही है ना तब तक नेक्स्ट वीडियो सेलेक्ट देख लेते हैं स्ट्रक्चर मोड है बे हाँ हाउ शी लाइव अभी देखेंगे इसको भी
I thought were adorable. We are then brought to this section of the players surrounded by bodies of the old employees, sifting through them, while Sawyer returns saying,
Let's make a game of you.
showing that he seemed to see us as nothing more than rats in a maze, something to make a game of. Especially as in the next shot, while he's saying this, we see one of the prison vaults open in this observatory room to let an experiment inside, which as we saw in this recently released screenshot will contain Yarnaby, who presumably is going to try to kill us, possibly being Sawyer trying to toy with us by sending Yarnaby in to come our way. After some panic shot of the nightmare critters and more of injured Kissy and Poppy panicking, yelling to someone, a small quick look at Pianosaurus seemingly chasing us at 500 miles an hour, and even Ollie making a return saying, presumably giving us call outs for Yarnaby or maybe one of the other villains. We see this scene of us walking through some kind of blue smoke, which looks really interesting, followed by this shot of what looks to be body bags in the kitchen area of the prison, and some other mystery gameplay shots where we hear another mystery voice exclaim, "I failed you," as Poppy screams,
You lied to me!
and we then return to the TV-filled room as they all turn on, the door opens up, and the trailer closes. But not before we continue from the opening shot as the dribbling goo continues and alarms buzz as a new creature forms in front of us, who finishes up his forming and gives us his first introduction.
Hiya there, pal. Follow me.
Which is where
There's a story we've all
यार वापस ठीक
the
है तो
trailer ends. Now, there are so many things to break down here, so many questions that are extremely difficult to answer. But to keep things simple, the first thing I want to talk about is the new character, Doughy the Doughman, who I can finally say I've seen leaks about their name for months and had to sort of ignore them. But he is the finally revealed hat character I've talked about on this channel for forever and assumed to be the main villain, where I am seemingly completely wrong. As while he might be a main character like I thought, he definitely doesn't appear to be an enemy. He's actually very approachable and nice and doesn't seem intimidating at all, which I'll admit it, I was wrong. Doughy seems like he'll be our ally, not our main villain. That title seemingly belongs to Harley Sawyer, but before talking about him, this still leaves me with a question. Who is Doughy the Doughman and why is he our friend? Well, regarding him as a toy, we heard a commercial for him at the very beginning where they call him stretchy and gooey, which I assume we will probably get the full tape of when the chapter is fully released, like for the intro, which they've done for every other chapter. And we can also see on his body, he has the weird circular hand shape, something that we originally saw back in July of 2024, so that's absolutely insane to see. But as for his lore and story for chapter 4, I think the answer seemingly lies
यार काम देखो गाइस यहाँ पे लिखा है वी आर सेफ सेफ ओ मैं सेव पढ़ रहा हूँ सेफ भाई साहब
in this shot, what I think is the most important shot right here, the safe haven, which obviously must be important if it's the
यार
title of the entire chapter. And we also know it's important because looking at the mural, we can see that there are a bunch of experiments like Bunzo Bunny here.
गाइस टाइम देखो 3:33
here and Crafty Corn here. I don't think they're the original bigger bodies. They're just meant to represent children, all in the arms and love of Doughy the Dough Man. And judged from the mural and its name, the Safe Haven, this seems like maybe it will be a location in Chapter 4 where Doughy rescued some of the prisoners down here and brought them to a place hidden away where they could be safe from the evil wrath of Harley Sawyer and the prototype, explaining how he is a good character. And interestingly, while this scene plays, we also hear a new voice discuss Harley Sawyer and the prototype's rule over Playtime Co., saying, "They called him the Doctor, he works with the prototype, commands everything down here, hunting us, starving us." Which of course proves to us that while Harley Sawyer originally contained the prototype and was studying him, something had changed and now they are working together, which gives us so much more conflict for the rest of the game. But what's interesting about this new character is at the end he says hunting us, starving us, and since we learned in chapter 3 this is exactly what the prototype was doing to the toys by starving them and feeding their enemies to the others, this means this voice of course must be one of the experiments, one who I think will likely be a part of the Safe Haven toys since he is still alive and hasn't been hunted down. There was also another new mystery voice in the trailer that I didn't recognize or anything, but it kind of sounded like it was coming from a VHS, so I assume it might have been one of the employees.
I've got something special and more.
Outside of the new characters though, we also see two returning ones, Kissy Missy and Poppy, who first, with Kissy, we can see that while she was attacked by something in chapter 3's ending, she miraculously survived, albeit with burn marks and wounds all over her body, still pushing through to help us, which is exactly why she is my favorite. Kissy is just the best. As for Poppy, maybe not so much, because while we have been going on and on about Poppy in previous chapters acting weird, almost as if she was going to betray us, we know what side Doughy and the Safe Haven group are on, which is against Poppy, crossing her art on the drawing and also saying she left us, setting up a super interesting dynamic because it seems like at some point Poppy was maybe liked or considered friendly and had somehow left them behind, again showing that Poppy is in fact a natural betrayer, and in this chapter we may finally learn about her evil ways. Moving on from Poppy though, there were also a few other cool things worth mentioning in the trailer, like that we could see we are going to be getting the red hand back for whatever reason, which also just had some kind of flickering flashlight when we picked it up. Maybe it could be a flashbang, or maybe it'll be a flashlight we can turn on and off like what we saw in the update to chapter 2, because we still don't have that in the current games. Speaking of grab packs, I'm not sure what happened, but in this shot here we can see that the purple grab pack is kind of colored differently and is sparking, almost like it was broken or upgraded or something was different. It also
इसमें क्या लिखा था
and is sparking, almost like it was broken or upgraded or something was different. It
अरे यार 9:15 banana. Also note, I think this Baba chops is bigger than the other nightmare critters, so this may be a bigger body.
or something was different. It also looked like obstacle-wise, there was going to be a couple of different electric platforms that I assume would just kill you if you touch them. Plus, we got to see there's going to be a lot of sections in the game featuring the red smoke again, along with the nightmare critters, which in this scene, we actually see ourselves fighting off in waves while we have this weird red circle around us, which could either be a hit marker system, like we need to get hit multiple times by the nightmare critters before it kills us, or as we were just discussing, it could even be from the red smoke because we no longer have a gas mask, and maybe while we have this effect after breathing it in, we can hallucinate or have something happen to us. But the most interesting gameplay detail is that we can see here there is some kind of gas coming out of a pipe, very similar to the red gas pipes we've seen containing the red smoke, but this time it's blue. So maybe while the red gas had sleeping properties, this one will do something new to us or different that may instead benefit us. I mean, we run through it for a reason. But the real star of the show is Harley Sawyer. Sawyer. As for a while, we assumed he was just the cameras and the one body, nothing really more, but he seems to be much bigger, having hundreds of TVs watching at all times, and even these bodyguard things he seemingly is able to connect to, and it seems like they are going to follow us around everywhere. Like, for instance, in this shot, it looks like they might be a weeping angel type thing, similar to the endoskeletons from FNAF Security Breach. YouTuber It's Lightning also pointed out to me that this silhouette we saw from the Chapter 4 ARG, which we were never able to solve, was actually the back of these endoskeletons, so that's pretty cool. But the main thing I gather from Harley's existence here is that it doesn't seem like he really takes us all that seriously. We see on multiple occasions him putting us through what looks like trapdoors that just fall underneath us, and we also heard him say, "Let's make a game of you," which, as I mentioned, seems like Harley might be using us for mere entertainment and nothing more. Something we will obviously be fighting hard against in Chapter 4, and while we've seen that Harley can literally morph into anything he can power on, I assume with that being said, our goal is going to be to shut down all of his power, because we saw in the Doctor trailer that with no power comes no consciousness, and therefore no ability for him to continue his golden dark path.
तो ठीक है।
They also never explain what this room with the TVs is going to be for. They kind of hyped it up, so I assume maybe this is the room right before we finally see Harley Sawyer and his fully fledged version for a boss fight or something. But I don't know. However, this overall sets up a super interesting story and motive going into the next game. We will be visiting the prison to find that the place has become a hellhole, with leeching toys and dead employees.
अच्छा ठीक है, बस अब मैं हो चुका हूँ बोर इससे। तो व्हाट हैपेंड टू, अरे तो हेल्प मुझे पता है यार, हेल्प हाउ इज शी, ये देखते हैं हम लोग।
We finally just got the gameplay trailer for Chapter 4 and we're only 5 days away from release. But we also got the biggest sigh of relief because Kissy Missy is still alive. But the question is, how? She was screaming at the end of Chapter 3, the kind of desperate scream for help.
ये तो छोड़ो पर
Well, I'm gonna go over my theory as to what could have happened to her, and it's probably not what you're expecting, so I'll just say it now. Ollie could have saved her, because in the Chapter 4 trailer, at 1 minute 29 seconds, we can actually hear what sounds to be like Ollie, but not exactly. But the subs do confirm that it's Ollie speaking here, and he's giving us a warning saying he's outside. And so, if Ollie is still helping us, and he was an insane help in Chapter 3, who says he can't help Kissy Missy in her time of need? So let me explain my theory, including Kissy Missy's appearances, whether or not she's hurt, and why I think it could have been Ollie. Kissy only appears 2 times in the trailer, but both of them are very close up. The first time at 1 minute and 11 seconds, and she looks completely normal, very close up. The first time at 1 minute
जैसे इसने बोला कि वो किसी में से 1 मिनट 11 सेकेंड्स में वो दिखती है, वैसे इसकी वीडियो पे 1 मिनट 11 सेकेंड्स में है।
in 11 seconds, and she looks completely normal, almost as if nothing happened to her. But we do see some sort of straps around her, and these don't seem to be some kind of backpack thing holding up Poppy, because we can see that Poppy is standing on her shoulder and gripping on her fur, kinda like a parrot. But then, in Kissy's second appearance, we see her backside, and she does not look good. We see some kind of ring of blood around her waist with her fur being discolored. We see blood on the back side of her arm, and even the back right side of her head seems to be missing fur. So whatever attacked her definitely did some serious damage. But considering the actions we see Kissy doing, she doesn't really seem to be disabled by these injuries, at least not in a major way, because she's literally smacking the door open. So if she was really attacked, then who saved her, or did someone even save her? Well, in my opinion, it seems that someone would have to save her because of the way she was screaming. Clearly, someone got the jump on her, as the screams sound just like the ones we hear in Chapter 2 when Mommy Longlegs kills the mini Huggies.
There's something.
And if someone can put blood all over you and has the element of surprise, I don't see her surviving that unless whatever attacked you was stupid. But then what attacked her? And how are Kissy and Poppy regrouped with us? At the end of chapter 3, we were going to send the lift back up to Kissy, but before that could happen, she was attacked. And in the chapter 4 trailer for Yarnaby, we see that we're now separated from Kissy and Poppy as we're alone stepping off of the lift. So my theory is that because the lift was going back up at the end of chapter 3, Poppy could have made it out through some kind of small hole before the lift closed to reach Kissy, but we fell all the way down. Which begs another question: Poppy in no way could fight a fly, she's tiny. So what could have saved them both? Well, first we gotta get the question of who attacked her out of the way, and in my opinion the only one who it could possibly be is the prototype. And here's my logic: Doughy, Harley, the nightmare critters, Yarnaby, and Pianosaurus all seemed to only be in the bottom parts of the factory, meaning it most likely wasn't them, and the only other thing that we've seen, at least that's still alive, in the upper parts of the factory is the prototype. And I have one more piece of evidence that connects this together. At the end of the chapter 3 story so far video, when we see us going down in the lift, we can hear Harley saying,
Down they come, like lambs to the slaughter.
which I interpret as, I planned this whole thing out, time to finally kill them. So Harley could be connected to this, but then again, we only see Harley in the lower parts of the factory. But at 51...
अब ना बहुत सारे दिखते हैं is only the prototype.
Could Ollie be the prototype? Throughout our time in Playcare, we've been guided by Ollie to help take down Catnap and the prototype. He's given us keys to each building, knows the location of the generators, sometimes even the toys, knows about how Catnap became the monster he is today, including the shrine that he made for the prototype, despite it being in a cave, likely with zero cameras around. And to top it all off, we haven't even seen this kid. But here's the thing, not once did Ollie introduce himself as an orphan of Playtime Co., or even a kid for that matter. So the only thing we can go off of is his voice. But even then, there are some things about his voice that sticks out to me, along with some other things. But with all of this mystery shrouded around this child, is it possible that Ollie could be evil? Or even worse, is Ollie the prototype? Well, before we start to judge whether or not he's on our side, or if he's not what he presents himself to be, there's a couple of questions that I know is on everyone's mind. The first is, how does Ollie have so much knowledge about Playcare? It's implied by Ollie's voice that he's just a child, meaning that there's a chance that he was an orphan, a part of Playcare. But here's the thing, we returned to Playtime Co. in 2005, and we left Playtime Co. 10 years before this, so 1995. We don't know Ollie's age, but if we were to stick with the assumption that he's an orphan, we have to look at the age of the other orphans, more specifically their date of birth. But hold on, the only known date of birth regarding the orphans is Theodore Granville, and he was born in the year 1983, making him 12 years old before he was turned into Catnap. It's unlikely that Playtime Co. would experiment with an orphan who was extremely underage, like under 12 years old, and even if they did, they would sound a lot older than Ollie 10 years later. But what if Ollie was 2 or 3 years old when the Hour of Joy happened, and he managed to survive all the way up until we came back, making him 12 to 13 years old? That is pretty much impossible. There is no way that Ollie made it this far by himself and managed to learn almost everything there is to know about Playcare during that whole time frame. All of the experiments have been starving at this time, and it's very likely that Ollie has been too. So for us to figure out how Ollie has so much knowledge about Playcare, we might have to ditch the fact that Ollie is even a child, and maybe, just maybe, we might have to ditch the fact that Ollie is even human. And this leads me to my second question that you might have also had throughout the time of interacting with Ollie. Why does he talk in such a weird way? If you listen to almost every piece of dialogue Ollie has, there's always this unnatural up pitch in his voice, almost like someone trying to mimic a child the best they can, and honestly, they're not doing a good job at it. And overall, he just has some weird choices of dialogue. Like, listen to this.
It seems like Poppy explained everything now, and she turned on the dome's backup power. You should be able to find a big power cord somewhere around the porch. Grab it and plug it in underneath the statue. Hey, did you see the shrine? If you thought that was terrifying, just wait until you see the real thing.
Wait a minute, back it up. Just wait until you see the real thing? Has Ollie seen what the prototype looks like? He wouldn't have said that if he had no idea what his appearance was. So how has he even seen him? We'll get to that in just a second, but Ollie is just way too enthusiastic considering the environment that we're in. And even when Poppy's talking to us, there's always this sense of cautiousness sprinkled into it, but that's barely there for Ollie. But enough about how he talks. Let's talk about when he talks. It becomes a common staple that Ollie's main dialogue starts when you're in the center of Playcare, and that doesn't really change. But in the beginning of chapter 3, Ollie is talking with us shortly after the train crash, as well as when he's guiding us on what to do in the gas production zone. Later on in Home Sweet Home, Ollie's heard over the phone telling us to run, and then we see Catnap quickly hiding in the shadows behind us. But I'm led to believe that this was part of the hallucination that we experienced after inhaling the red smoke. The main driving force behind me thinking this is that we never actually do run, and after this moment, we never actually encounter Catnap face to face, and we only encounter a nightmarish hallucination of Huggy Wuggy. And even after that, we wake up still inside of Home Sweet Home. And if Catnap was actually inside of Home Sweet Home, he would have killed us while we were passed out. So that makes Ollie's warning very likely to have been fake. So I'm not going to count this one as Ollie talking to us outside of the center of Playcare. But he does talk to us again right after we enter into the school. But before we venture off deeper into it, he lets us know that we won't be able to communicate with us on this side of the dome, and to be careful for Mr. Light before the audio abruptly cuts out.
There's someone else in there too. Not yours.
And after dealing with Mr. Light, we end up wandering into the playhouse, which we can guess is still on the side of the dome that Ollie can't connect to, as right when we escape from the mini smiling critters and the bigger version of Dog Day, Ollie immediately starts to ask if we're okay.
Hey, are you alright? No ouchies or lost body parts?
No ouchies or lost body parts. Yeah, nah, this gotta be an imposter. Plus, it really just sounds like Ollie is trying his absolute best to sound glad that we're okay, almost as if he secretly wanted us to be killed in there. Here's where things get a little suspicious, as when we enter the counselor's office, we stop hearing from Ollie, even though Catnap was in here and attacked us, and he didn't even warn us about Catnap being here. Yeah, he was talking about how Catnap lives for the hunt and the fact that he lurks in every shadow, but I think it's weird that upon entering the offices, we don't hear from him at all anymore. It's only until right after we leave the offices that we get a call from Ollie, and he doesn't even question what happened to us and immediately lets us know that something has gone wrong and we have to plug the cord from the counselor's office into the sockets underneath the statue.
Something's gone wrong. Grab the cord from the counselor's office and plug it in underneath the statue. We need to reach 100%.
Now, it's very likely that he didn't know we were attacked by Catnap, but it's extremely suspicious that Ollie stopped mentioning Catnap right after he started to pop up more. And I want you to remember what Ollie says after we plug in the cord, because this is very important for what happens next.
Now take that huge battery to the gas production zone so we can get out of here.
After this, Ollie tells us to take the large battery to the gas production zone so, and I quote, we can get out of here, which again is extremely important. But as we approach the battery socket, Catnap enters the room from a small door on the right, almost as if he were expecting us, and then we begin to run from him via an elevator. And after arriving in the safe room, we have to fend off Catnap for 5 minutes while he tries to get in. And after finally defeating him with the green hand from the grab pack being overcharged, the prototype comes down through the hatch in the ceiling and Catnap begins to pray to him, not dying from our attack. But suddenly, the prototype plunges his hand into Catnap, killing him instantly and brings him up into the hatch with it. But after all of this, from finally diverting the red smoke to meeting up with Poppy and ending the chapter off with the nastiest cliffhanger of 2024, we don't even hear from Ollie once. And I'm led to believe that this was intentional. But here's what's the most confusing about all of this. this. After leaving Home Sweet Home, we're attacked by Kissy Missy, and Poppy lets her know that we didn't do anything wrong and that we're here to help. But she also says this.
I'm glad that Ollie could help you get this far. He's the reason we found you at all.
Okay, so Poppy had some sorts of interaction with Ollie, we know that. But after Poppy shows us the Hour of Joy, she says that they killed everyone. Don't you think it would make sense that she says something relating to Ollie being a survivor of the Hour of Joy at some point in the game? But since she doesn't, then that means Ollie wasn't a part of the Hour of Joy and he's in Playtime Co. some other way. He couldn't have entered Playtime Co. after everything happened because of all the knowledge he has. He couldn't have been part of the Hour of Joy in any way because even if he was, he would definitely still not be a child. Plus, Poppy said that they killed everyone. The only option we have left is that Ollie is not who he's leading us on to be. And not only do I think that Ollie isn't even human, but with everything I've laid out on the table, it's very possible that Ollie is the prototype in disguise, impersonating a child in some random location in Playcare with access to all of the keys and knowledge of the dome. Just think about it for a second. Let's say that Ollie was some child. How in the world would he have gotten himself in some secured location where he has all eyes on us while we're in the main part of Playcare, is able to send us large batteries and keys whenever we need them, knows the lore about some characters even before they were toys, and with all that mystery, he somehow managed to have some sort of relationship with Poppy who doesn't give us any details regarding Ollie even once. It makes me a bit skeptical about whether or not Poppy's on our side, but more on that in the next theory. But what do you think about Ollie, and why is it that he has so much knowledge and we never even get to see him? Let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching, subscribe, and click on this video right here.
तो गाइज मैं भी थक चुका हूँ, तो बाय गाइज, आई होप यू एंजॉय दिस वीडियो, मीट इन द नेक्स्ट वीडियो, टिल देन बाय बाय।